Why does my video reset itself every time? All right.
Good morning.
Morning. All right, can everybody hear me? Maybe. All right, well, good morning, all you cool cats and kittens. Yes, I've been affected. Here we are for another Women in HVACR Zoom in call. We are trying to amp up our Zoom in stuff just because I know that a lot of you are more available for webinars than you used to be. And we figure we have some great content and great sponsors and great people that want to share, so we're going to get at it. As always, housekeeping rules. Please mute your microphones if you're not speaking. That doesn't mean we don't want to hear from you. It just means we don't want to hear from your kids that are tied up in the back, or the whiny husband possibly, or whoever, is going on in the back. So just making sure that it doesn't disrupt the rest of the call. Please take advantage of the chat. If you have questions, if you have things you want to throw out there, encouraging notes, say hi, whatever, use the chat function. Unmute yourself if you have a question. I know Mark will be more than happy to answer questions and stuff, and we want to hear from you guys. Same rules apply as always. Like I said, don't be afraid to speak up, and we'll probably have a question and answer and a little bit of discussion time with this as well. Looking forward to the future. We have lots of Zoom stuff planned. I'll go over that schedule at the end of the call, but we do have a lot of calls coming up, and we already have May scheduled out, so it's looking really good right now. So without further ado, I want to introduce everyone to Mark Sherwin. I've had the pleasure of knowing Mark for many, many years. In fact, he was one of the first people I met when I joined this amazing industry. Mark actually runs, and he's the president and co-founder of a digital marketing agency called Leads Nearby out of North Carolina. They have been a WHVACR sponsor for a couple of years now, and they have some amazing content to give us today. We're going to be talking about market targets and how to create need when there isn't one. So without any further ado, Mark's going to share his screen and start his topic today.
Hey, I appreciate you, everybody showing up. I hear there's a lot of webinars going around, so y'all came to mind. I appreciate that. I've been talking to different clients, and they're just telling me that it's nonstop, webinar after webinar. So I appreciate y'all taking time. This is not going to be a full hour. I have designed this for Q&A because this is a Q&A topic. Market targets is not a common term. And I'm going to share my screen the best I can, so bear with me. That's not it. That's it. We're going to share that. All right, so what do you guys see my little mouse zooming around? Little red guy?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, everybody's heard of target markets. Everybody's understands the need to create, the demand curve that many of local businesses and especially the home service contractors have. So this is a presentation about how I view and we as a company view, but market targets. So I will get into this here momentarily, and of course all right. Our topic today is market targets. We're going to be creating desire for your products and services during a time of year when demand may be down. I want everybody to understand. This applies to anything, any industry. This is a simple supply and demand charts from Economics 101, right? This presentation is kind of an adaptation of that simple supply and demand chart that any business can use. No matter if you're selling widgets or $30,000 HVAC systems, you can take lessons from this idea. Back when I was in my senior year in marketing, my marketing teacher, very eccentric guy, came up with this market target, and he was teaching us this, and it's stuck with me all these years. This is kind of just how I view things. We'll discuss today how demand in many industries is cyclical, of course, the ebbs and flows, but it's usually something that you guys can plan for. It's those times, though, that we wait for the demand to heat up that can be excruciating for a small business, and we want to get into that now. I do not see the chat, so if somebody wants to talk, by all means, I've got only 2 screens in my little home office here, so I'm working off a
I'll
smaller
monitor the
screen.
chat for you, Mark. No worries.
Thank you. What is a market target? Well, let's first define target market. Everybody understands what a target market is. This is nothing new, right? It's a group of consumers or organizations most likely to buy a company's product and services, and that sounds like a dictionary. It is, we all need this. You guys, you know, adult homeowners 35 plus with a household income of 100,000 plus, adults 25, 54, your radio stations, your TV stations are going to love you if you know these terms. Yes? Somebody have a comment? No? Okay. A target market can be defined in many ways. It can be simple as I want homeowners to, can make it complex, like I said, adult homeowners, 35 plus. The point is to have one. And I desperately want you guys to understand that target markets will dictate your brand, your website design, your truck design, the way you answer the phones. Target markets have that impact. But let's dive in a little bit and talk about market targets. These are a slightly different thought process. We're going to define market targets as a smaller, more engaged group of consumers, organizations, more likely to buy a customer's product or service, but they oftentimes need a push or a pull or whatever side of that you are on, we want to help them. And we are going to learn from the professionals, automotive dealers, end-of-year promotions, the Walmarts of the world, the Groupons of the world, the clearance sales that are out there. We're going to learn how to use them. We've all seen these things, right? The model year closeouts, end of year specials, discounts galore. But why? Well, it's very hard to move a winter coat in March. Retailers know this, right? I either have to take the winter coats and store them in the back and sell them as next year's model, or I got to move them off my shelves so the summer stuff can come in. It's hard to move a 2019 model year when a 2020 is sitting right next to it. The manufacturers, the dealers, everybody's coming out with new and innovative ways to engage and get you to come in and make a decision. You get the idea. These major retailers are rather broadly, mind you, pulling you into their store. They're doing it by increasing the price to value ratio, more for your money. It's a lesson that we can all take. The contractors, home service professionals, you guys specifically, many of you may remember the old starving contractor ploy, right? Airtime 500 had this thing. It was an email or a letter you sent to everybody, and it worked. I'm not sure why we're not doing it anymore, but this is kind of a presentation. You're going to hear some old thoughts behind that old starving contractor ploy here, brought into the 2020s, if you will. This is going to, you're going to hear some ideas during this that you're going to be like, oh yeah, I get it, or I can apply that. There is no set, do this, do that, A, B, and C, check boxes, and you're good to go. But you will hopefully learn quite a bit of a new way to think about your these downtimes of the year. Who gets these promotional messages from those retailers, right? How many of you have gotten a text or a call from your dealership at the end of the month? What will it take to? How can we get you into? Have you ever gotten a winter clearance email from your favorite retailer, like 50% off and last year's style? Then there's the broad marketing ads, right? The buy now, last chance. These are all messages we hear, and they're cyclical, depending upon when that retailer needs the business. First quarter, you're going to get a lot of car dealers. Fourth quarter too, as the new model year is coming in. But these retailers, and quite frankly, they use them rather broadly in most cases, use target marketing to entice us into a purchase. What dealerships do, while dealerships do a better job than most at signaling me out of the crowd, most retailers cast a wide as net as possible. But what if they didn't? What if they threw that dart? What if my dealer called me about the exact car or truck I wanted, but with more bells and whistles at a lower cost? What if, they would have my attention for sure. What if instead of a 20% off coupon from Kohl's, they sent me a 30% off coupon for something I actually wanted? We'll focus on this part, this part of the, and apply it to the home service contractors. A side note here, you're seeing my screen. I was reviewing this and I'm going over it and I'm kind of doing my own presentation to myself and my kids and seeing what their feedback was. And lo and behold, a Kohl's message pops up on my phone. So I took a screenshot of it and showed it right there, just sitting here just yesterday. And I got that 20% off savings code. I just thought it was appropriate. A lot these response rates is the most recent rates I could find. I'm sure there's somebody else out there has a more recent update for response rates, but calls and texts get responses. Emails, depending upon your offer, get responses. Ads get responses, but it's all about your message. And I always, I'm a long time ago, once upon a time, I sold radio and television, and I was always challenged. Mark, ads don't work, radio doesn't work, TV doesn't work. And I always came back with, I will guarantee you that it works. I will guarantee you, and I'm going to run one free ad, and I will guarantee a line of people out your front door in the morning when you show up. The only caveat is I get to say whatever I want to in that ad. And everybody, whoa, what are you going to say, right? And if you're handing out free $100 bills, I can guarantee you there'll be a line of people hanging out your front door. It's all about the message. And that's why these response rates, while overall specific to 5%, 8%, 4% to industries, it all depends on the engagement level or the offer or the idea that you may have to generate that opportunity for your clients, from your clients. I'm going to jump in a little bit about what you can do as a home service contractor, and I'm going to play out some scenarios. These scenarios are by no means inclusive. They can apply to any industry, and we're going to jump into that now. What can you do? We're going to define a target. Now, we're going to focus on moving people to the center of their target. The center is the decision. They have made the decision. So I want you to envision this, right? Everybody in their mind has these targets. These targets are from I'm going to need a new roof to I'm going to need siding to I'm going to need a new car to I need to cut the grass. There are targets in our minds. And all of them, we are inside, outside that target. We are close to the center to making a decision. We are outside that target, close to making a decision, or we're thinking about it or what have you. We are talking about right now, your marketing has to elicit a desire during this slow time. I want versus I need. When your clients and potential clients are hot, cold, without water or electricity, or can't get to their car in their garage, loyalty only goes so far. Your clients will seek other solutions if they're stressed. You guys know this. I'm sure you've had client cancellations, right? Long-standing client, their air conditioner broke, and they canceled the appointment, because you couldn't get them in for a couple of days. We're talking about during the demand season. We're talking about bringing them to the center now. And here are some ideas. So that target, I want you to think about it. And it can be as small as a part to or an option to as large as new system or a new garage door or what have you. So let's go run through some examples of what I'm talking about. Here's one, right? HVAC replacement target. That is in any homeowner's mind, they have this target. They may be far away from it. They may be close to the center, but they have this target because they know I'm going to probably have to replace this thing sooner or later. How many times have you walked out of a client's home when they had a currently functioning but north of 10-year-old system? Probably quite a bit. Your technicians come in, come out. We know the age of the system. We're going to do everything we can. We know that homeowner doesn't want to spend $4,000 to $10,000, $20,000 on a new system, but a savvy homeowner knows it's just a matter of time. High utility bills have become the norm. We're accustomed to them. We don't care. I need to start planning. I get that. Here's where that understanding comes in, right? And here's where, if you take nothing else out of this conversation, if you take nothing else from this presentation, this next part is so big. Ask your technicians, give them questions that they can ask or they can follow or observe even. They don't even have to ask, but observe in the home, and give me a place in your dispatch software where you can note this and report on it. But did your technician note his findings somewhere, the age of the system or the home, the last time you were there? For instance, if I asked you right now, could you send out a targeted message to clients with an older home, or could you do it? Do you have a social message geared towards why my electric bill is so high? A targeted campaign specific to this person can yield a very nice return. This is one of the darts that we're going to talk about today, one of the boards. And that when you're on that outside of that ring, they're the most hard to move into the center. I understand that, but you can. It's all about the information that you have on that client. I'm going to use me as an example. I have a 14-year-old home. I have 2 train systems on the outside of it. I know I am in this target. I am probably right where that target, that dart is right now. I'm thinking about it. I'm planning. I'm hoping that thing doesn't break down. But if my provider called me with a prior year clearance truckload sale, if he called me up with a value add or indoor air quality or something and says, hey, Mark, we got this great deal. We can offer to you now on a new train system, and we're going to install an indoor air quality at cost. He moved me to that center. He's pushing me there. He's pulling me in, right? That's the idea. But the beautiful thing about this, and the thing to understand is, if I got a call from him, you could easily send out an email, bulk load email, and you can send it out to all the people with a 10-year-old and older system, and that's all well and good. But when you're slow, when you're watching the phone, I encourage you, pick it up. Call me, call people like me, people that you want to do business with, that you've been in their home multiple times, know that they have a concern or ask questions about it, and offer and give me that offer. See what it's going to take. These are the kinds of things that I want to be marketed to singular. I want to feel special, because that's what's going to take to move me into that center. I become a market target. Now, manufacturers, I don't know. It's funny, right? I hear from all of my clients all the time, my manufacturer, this is the price and this is the distribution, this is what they do. And I've been trying to encourage manufacturers to offer these truckload sales. People don't realize, right? A 2019 model and a 2020 model air conditioning system is exactly the same. Might be a different box, might be a slightly different brand, but design, but it's exactly the same unit inside. But your clients don't realize that. And that truckload, that model year clearance, that whatever message resonates with them. It works for the car dealers. Why can't it work for us? The bottom line is to take notes while you're in the home. Observe, collect, ask questions. This information is invaluable for the future. And you're creating market targets for when the time is slow. Now, I want you to envision, here's your chart, right? It's constantly evolving. You got your demand season and it goes down. I'm talking about moving that bottom line up. That top line will continue to stay up. But if I can move some of that demand into a time when you need it, and I move it up because I'm going to create the desire, now I've saved room for you guys over here on the demand side to accept more new clients coming in. All right, we're moving a little closer to the center. I know I want it, but And here's a water heater replacement target. Many homes, how many homes do you service with a standard tanked water heater? Do you know how many people live in the house? With the bedrooms, how many bedrooms or floors to the home? A family with 3 kids and 2 floors will never be satisfied by the standard 50-gallon water heater. Speaking from experience, that is exactly me, by the way. Savvy homeowner just needs the right message, especially if the current water heater is a bit older. Let's face it, if the water heater fails, that homeowner is, I'm looking for a solution fast. I got 2 teenage daughters and a wife, and they like their showers. So we're going to use this information to your advantage. It's time to market target. When you have this data, this is easy. If you're not collecting it, start, please. A simple message during the shoulder season or downtime for an inventory clearance will work wonders to bring the desire out in the homeowner for a new tankless solution well before I may need the demand. Now, not everybody falls in falls in here, right? There are a number of ways to think about this, and water heater replacement is just one target, right? But there are many ways that you can be with the proper notes, that you can be calling me, texting me, sending me an email specific, hey, we can help. I understand you have a larger home, hey, one of the concerns that you had was X. By the way, we have this tankless water heater now, or this, if I don't have natural gas, which you should be able to note, we have this hot water recirculating pump. Got a great deal from the manufacturer. We'd love to come and talk to you about it to help with your water heating issues. Yeah, come on out, right? That's the kind of thing that we're talking about. You're creating desire. You know I have a problem. Don't wait for me to call you during the downtime. Now, another solution. This is, I wanted to use a product. So and electricians that constantly call me up, they're like, Mark, we don't have repeat customers. We have one-time customers, and they come to us every 5 to 7 years. Okay, I'm all right with that. Sure, demand will dictate that. But what if they didn't have to, right? What if you were out there, or a little closer to the target? Every home wants a surge protector. Every home needs a surge protector, and every homeowner wants one. Anybody you talk to, right? They all want one. They want to protect their home and all their valuables and electronics. By the time they need it, it's too late, and the price to value is hard to justify initially with that. Groupon. I have no idea. Groupon, when they first started, they were great. Now, today, not so good, but they still hammer these deals out. Take a lesson from them, right? What can we offer our own daily deals on your own website? Your own, right? Hey, electricians, you could be doing this. Indoor air quality, plumbers, fixtures, shower heads, whatever that is, right? Offer your own daily deal. Work with your manufacturers on this. Buy a pallet of them. How much discount can you get? But this time, instead of using Groupon, you keep the money. You're just giving a discount. But what's the difference now? Pulled me into the center. You're now in my home. You're getting a panel inspection in an electrician's case. You're getting to talk to that homeowner. You're getting to take those notes that I need you to take. You're getting your reviews. You're getting your referrals. These types of deals are what will bring people into the middle. These are just ideas. Everybody, I want you to understand, these are just ideas that for different circles. Now, remember, that target can be anything that you do. Now, we're throwing darts. I want to bring everybody into the center. Is your database a gold mine? I think so. Your database can be a lifeline during these slow seasons. If you can create the desire, you have it. What proposals have you written in the last 6 months that were not accepted? What services have you performed that would indicate a bigger problem? What notes do you have in your last encounter with your client that you could use today? Let's take some lessons again from the big guys, right? Market to the target. Call the prospect who didn't purchase a new garage door, with a message of a discount or an added value or last year's model, et cetera. Create the get a habit moment. Plumbers, remember the water heater replacement that wasn't an emergency, the proposal, or offer them something. The recycling pump, maybe a tanked tankless electric water heater if they don't have a gas line for their most used sink or shower. Talk to them about solutions that might impact them. Remember to HVAC guys, remember the deal that you put together for a homeowner with multiple or frequent repairs? Throw a dart and call them and offer them a free duct cleaning or indoor air quality upgrade to replace their system now. Increase the value ratio. This is not all about, I want everybody to understand, it's not always about the discount. This might be that you add something onto your proposal as a special. And that can be a huge impact. But when you're throwing darts and you have that relationship with your client, it is extraordinarily powerful. And the other thing I want to be very mindful of, this is, you're looking at your database as not everybody. Who are my target people? Who do I want to do business with? Who might be, who been with me a long time, live in a nice neighborhood? You can very specifically pull these people out of your database. And that's extraordinarily important to note here. Is this a new way of thinking? No, this is not. I understand that. My initial image makes a lot more sense now here, right? We are all over this target. We are everywhere on here. I hope you see this as a new way to visualize your marketing. We are all on a target. Us personally are on a target somewhere. The further from the center, the harder it is to bring us in, but we're there. Our job as marketers and business owners is to move them to the middle. Look, waiting for them to move themselves to the center is not always the best. They will eventually move themselves to the center. I can't guarantee they're going to call you, and I can't guarantee that you're going to be their first choice or their only choice. But when we're operating this way, it does make sense. And I can tell you, please rest assured this works. If it didn't work, you would still see thousands of winter coats on those racks right now in those retailers. I'm about finished with this presentation. I want to thank the Women in HVACR for inviting me. Thank you. Again, my name is Mark Sherwin. I'm the president and co-founder of Leads Nearby. I talk a lot with my hands, so thank you very much for listening. And I am here. I'd love to bounce questions, receive some answers, ideas, maybe a group effort. I'm more than happy to do that. See if there's anything that you guys have questions on or observations for, and hopefully you came away with something out of this. So I'm going to shut up and see if there's any questions. And I know some people on here, so I will call out names. Not afraid.
Laura Lynn has one that she just put in chat, so she's gonna.
Yeah, I got to try to get back to the chat. Hang on.
That's okay. She asked me to ask. So thank you. Okay. I just want to say thank you for the presentation first, Mark. It was a great presentation. Is there a way that we can feel comfortable as contractors and distributors in this climate to discuss opportunities without feeling unempathetic based on the time that we're in right now?
I think if you don't act the norm, that's going to be more of a concern. Me personally, right? Act normally, market normally, with the side message, we're going to protect you and your family. Don't lead with that. That's not, we've always protected you and your family, now more so than ever. Here's our marketing that you're going for. I see too many people right now leading with this buy us, use us because we protect your family. No, start making offers. The more we are normal, the better I feel. Car dealers have not stopped. What's the latest one I just saw? Joe Garcia is on the call with me. We were looking at him the other day. 0% interest for 120 days. No payments due. They're still out there offering. Oh, and by the way, when you come in, we're going to be wearing masks and we disinfect your car. So I'd say no, I don't. I think you need to acknowledge, but not lead with. Does that answer your question, Laura?
Pretty much.
Anybody else have any concerns about today's day and age, and the new norm, I guess, and how this would play into it?
I mean, really, in all honesty, Mark, I think my struggle is like like even presenting, and maybe this is somebody else's struggle, I don't know, but getting out there and trying to talk to I work for a distributor, right? But getting out there and talking to the contractors, because right now they're insanely busy. At least most of ours are. So that's the struggle that we run into. How do we get them to stop and take time and kind of explain? We can do all these webinars, but they might not have the time. So how do we speak to them, or what is a good way to speak to them?
See, and that's a great opportunity. That's a great point, Laura Lynn. Okay. When the demand is there, this is not as imperative. Okay. That's why I was, you know, this is April. We're coming into the busy season. I still got some sort of line across the country where people are still getting snow. But when the demand is there, this is less impactful. However, while the message I was really trying to get across is now is the time to generate the data. So if you're injured, if as a distributor, I would be all over the contractors, begging them get the data. If you can give them a list of questions that they could possibly answer while they're in the system, talk how can they impact their and where they can add this information to their dispatch software or in the back end for their marketing. That is imperative right now. So that would be my message. If they're busy, that's great. But start taking the notes that we need, because when they're not busy, that's going to come. Like, right when we all go back to normal, there's going to come a slow season. And now I have so much data that I can use to go and market during that time and throw those darts that I was talking about. So yes, totally agree. Not a great message when the demand is up. By the way, I wrote all this. I came up with this presentation in January. So
All right.
that was
So
a little less demand then.
Tiffany had a question in chat, and we also have one from Soph. Joe's already taken care of Lori's question, but Tiffany Powell asked, as a person who doesn't like a bunch of salesy emails and ads, how can we as a business add value without being too salesy and pushy?
Nobody likes salesy ads, do we? I ignore half of the ones that come in. That's why I'm encouraging everybody here to think about how, and this is the tough part of this conversation. Okay. These are throwing darts. This is not a shotgun approach. So even though if you sent me a personal email, that has much more impact than a bulk email that shows up in my bulk file folder in Google, right? Select all, delete. But if you sent me a personal message from the owner of, or from your inbox, right? I saw that you were doing this. I am going to respond. I appreciate that personal touch that you gave me. So if I was going to tell you to switch something up, it's to make the communication personal. Don't think of this as I need to put emails out to everybody. This is, I'm going to produce this list. I'm going to look through this list. I'm going to pick up the phone. I'm going to call Mark Sherwin and go, Mr. Sherwin, I saw we were out there, a month ago. We offered you this package. I wanted you to know that I just talked to my distributor. I got a great deal, and I can add an indoor air quality system because I know that was a concern of yours. If we can do it this month. Oh, yeah. What do you got? Right now, it's you creating that relationship with me that I feel much better about. So again, this can be done in bulk. This can be done because a lot of the retailers they do this in bulk. But the most advantageous, the ones that you're going to get the best results for, are the ones that you can pick up the phone, that you have maybe an existing relationship with, that you can specifically target or text or call or email that personal touch. Will it work for everybody? No, it won't. Not everybody is on that circle. Not everybody is going to respond to your email or even your personal email. the likelihood they do is much higher. Keep it short, keep it simple, and let me know you're thinking about me during this time, a crisis time, or even the slow time, that you care about my family's safety or security or comfort. I hope that answered the question. I know that was a little long-winded, but this is a mindset change. This is because you are absolutely right? Send out 10,000 emails and I hope 200 of them are opened when it's, a bulk message, but narrow the focus. Did that answer that question?
Yeah, Tiffany. Yes, she said yes.
I'm trying to get to see the chats.
I have something to, we will teach you Zoom someday, I'm sure. Maybe Joe will help you out.
Keeps popping up.
At the very bottom, you'll see an orange thing. But if I could just add to that, just based on what you said, Mark, I would say also think of it this way, guys. You, without sounding harsh, but you quite literally have a captive audience. I mean, this is a time where there are more people stuck in their homes and in front of their phones all day long, and that they're scrolling on Facebook, they're looking at things, they're taking time to read things, and when they get mail, regardless of whether it's junk, they're probably taking more time to look through it, because literally everybody is kind of at a halt or a hurry up and wait kind of a phase. And it's something where it's like, are you making sure that you're still prevalent to them, or at least to know that you're there to care? You're right, nobody wants to sound salesy, but being there is very much important, and not to seem like you've halted your business entirely. Of course, different parts of the country are facing it differently. Obviously, how a contractor is behaving in New York right now is not the same as what is in Wyoming. It's just totally two different worlds. However, making sure that you're actually keeping in front of your audience is huge. Like I said, it quite literally is a captive audience.
And they're your biggest fans in many cases. They really are.
I was going to read more. Did you find the chat, Mark?
I did.
Soap just had something to add, and I thought I wanted to share it with the group real quick. And then Soap added,
I've been asked about privately, but I have no problem. I will be more than happy to put together a list of questions that I would ask if I was out there if I was out there on the front lines, or at least on the CSR level or anything like that. I'd be more than happy to put together a list of questions and give that to the group here. No problem.
We're starting to do follow-up emails with our Zoom calls. I know in the past it hasn't been the best thing. It's just proven to be a lot more difficult to secure the list than we thought. But we're going to be working through that. So that's something you want to forward on. You can make sure that we provide that with the recording. I know Soph Davenport had something, I'm trying to find it. She said, tie into current prevalent concerns. I've seen a meme stating how we're all wearing masks, but no one is changing their filters in their home AC unit. Again, trying to tie it back in, and I thought that was a really good one. In fact, for all the webinars I've sat in and all the social media browsing I've done, I've never seen that, but it's very clever.
There's been a couple of guys that put out how to make a face mask, and I was looking at that, and I was going, that's pretty cool. It's a good little social thing. Maybe put it on as a blog on the website, how to make your own face mask at home. And when I started looking at it, there was a whole thing on how to make a face mask out of an air filter. I thought that was neat.
Yeah, there's several movements of that going on. Actually, we have Michelle has a really good question. I'm actually curious about this because I know we have wholesalers on here. I know we have distributors, and we have a lot of contractors. Our memberships are diverse, and this is a conversation place where we don't get to know this. As far as wholesalers and distributors on this call, you guys are still putting out marketing, sales. I mean, people still need to be equipped. How are contractors responding to that? What's the demand and the supply and demand curve been due to current events? Is there anybody that wants to share what they're doing as a wholesaler, or even as a contractor, how they're responding, or what their buying strategy is, or if they appreciate that from their wholesaler still with different sales and stuff? Cricket, come on. I will call on some of you. You know I will. All right, we'll go through this. Shannon Bartlett, if you're on the call, can you talk about how your wholesaler has been taking care of you? You can hear me, Shannon, if you have a mic. I think you're muted.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. I couldn't get it unmuted. Our wholesalers have been, they've been doing a good job. We haven't had any on-site visits from us, but I feel like they've been trying to help us in any way they can. They've been in communication to include the owners of the different stores have actually reached out to us kind of personally, more on a one-on-one level as opposed to business, just more as friends to make sure that everything's going well.
Any particular ads or anything?
Oh, I think I might have missed part of the question. What do you, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about when you say ads. Did I miss part of the question?
Well, we were just talking as far as in relation to what people are pushing out there. And as far as a wholesaler, people are still doing a lot of their sales catalogs, whether they're doing flyers, what sounds saley, what approaches everybody taking to try and get to their target markets. And I figured that would be a good example.
Oh, so they are doing, of course, air cleaners. I mean, that's what most of our vendors have been promoting is, working on air cleaners and trying to get us to push that. Really, other than our vendors not actually coming into our office, I would say nothing has been different at all in their approach.
There you go. Keeping it normal.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else? Thank you, Shannon. Thank you for letting me pick on you. Is there anybody else that has any kind of experience in that? Because I know Michelle kind of asked a question and just kind of curious what people were seeing. Everybody's so quiet. All right. Well, Lori, you're on the call, Lori Toshel. So what would you say is some of your experiences out on the West Coast?
Well, it depends. I haven't really heard too much from my distributors. I know that, they're following all the guidelines and delivering and stuff. But when you mentioned that, it just triggered me to make a list to call my guys to say, hey, you really haven't reached out to me. So I guess you don't want me as your customer, to be honest with you.
A good point.
I haven't had one call. Now and I'm sure when I make that call, the question will be, well, maybe you reached out to one of the technicians or something, but as the owner of the company and the person that pays the bills, no one's called me. So,
an example of a missed opportunity.
Yep, just a different perspective there. You know me, Colleen.
Of course.
Hey, I'll share about my distributor. You know what? They have really totally stepped up. Phone calls, how can I help you? Like tons of really awesome things, and not just, kind of like Lori was saying, not just how can I help you in your business, but how can I help you personally, which has been so awesome. And one of the cool things is he's like, how's your business affected? Do you need longer terms on your payments? Like, can I help you in accounting? Like, it's been more than just equipment, but really like, how can I help you overall as a business? So kudos to some of those distributors who are really stepping up.
Well, thank you, Angie. That's a good example of it as far as making sure that you're relevant. I thought we had some other distributors on here. I thought we had some Total Air Supply and a couple other. I was trying to look at emails to try and remember who was on, but is there anybody else that would like to share from the other side what they're doing? All right. Everybody's so talkative on these. Mark, is there anything else that you'd wanted to share to follow up with any of this?
No, I appreciate everybody taking the time today. Again, I know this is probably a different time of year. This would have gone over very, very well. But it is right now that I really want you guys to understand that the data that you put into that system, those questions that you ask, those things that you can do for your clients, the the notes and the observations that you make have a tremendous impact during that down season, during that shoulder season. They can have an enormous impact in how you market and where your leads come from. A marketing company, any marketing company, right? We struggle to create demand, meaning I can't control the weather for you HVAC guys. I can't go in and put holes in people's water heaters. But what I can do is help you guys create the desire during a time of year when it might not be there generally. So any marketers, they should be well versed in that aspect. So that would be the challenge that I'd have for you and your marketing team. I know that's the challenge that I present to my my team during this time.
No.
I thank everybody. Is there any questions, any final ones that you guys have? It was good seeing you all.
Well,
I recognize
feel
a lot of faces in there.
it was very important to hear it right now, just because a lot of people are too scared to kind of start marketing again and figure out what they don't want to say the wrong thing. They don't want to seem insensitive, and yet there is still a need that people want to continue business as normal, or still have needs that we have to fill. With this kind of wrapping up, there is a lot of announcements I have for our upcoming Zoom call. Right now, our own Danielle Putnam is on maternity leave, so we have myself still and Sarah Hammond, also a board member of Women in HVACR, where we have planned out the next couple months of our Zoom meetings, and we have some awesome content in store. We will be doing 3 a month for as many Fridays as we have available. There's one Friday we do not have available, and that's only because our board meeting is on Friday now. So for the most part, going forward, we will try to maximize doing more than just 2 or 1 a month, and kind of get some great content going. So coming up, just so I don't forget, and I think Sarah's on the call because she has the next call and I have the call after that. But I believe it's diversity and inclusion is our next topic next week on the 24th, and that's Thelma. Oh, I can't think of her last name. Sarah, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yes, her name is Thelma Tamez, and she is a great speaker. She talks to schools and she does presentations to organizations about diversity and inclusion, about how you're dealing with your teams, and she's got some great presentations, and I'm super excited that she's going to be coming to speak to us. So that'll be on Friday.
So then Sarah will be hosting next Friday's call, and that's what we're going to be talking about on that topic. And then the last Friday of the month, or the first Friday of, I think it's the first Friday of May. I could be wrong. I'm trying to remember. I'll be talking. Yay! I actually am going to be doing a presentation on PowerPoints, on how to upgrade your PowerPoint skills, because we do talk a lot about sales and stuff like that. And one of the things I wanted to speak to and have wanted to for many months is to talk about honestly, the way you're doing your PowerPoint presentations, whether you're actually styling them that they look like they're from the current year and not from the 90s, what you're putting on them, what you should be using for tools, how you should be doing your sales presentations, and how to use PowerPoint in a way that makes you look professional and like you're actually from the current year. A lot of people, you've gone to shows before, you've seen people speak, you've seen a lot of PowerPoint presentations out there that are a little scary or maybe a little sad. And so I'm hoping to give everybody resources that they can use to give better sales presentations. And so that's one of the topics we'll be going over the beginning of, I think it's the first, I'm not have a calendar in front of me, but it's not next Friday, but the Friday after that. So anyway, that's what we have to look forward to. We will continue to provide this content. Please check out our Facebook and social media stuff. We recently had some of our female techs go crazy and absolutely do this video challenge where they kind of took on it's called the Don't Rush Challenge, and they did a video of them in the field, in their jobs, and like dressed up in all their gear and stuff, switching from what they wear during the day and then when they're going out and they're being a lady at night. So it's kind of a fun one. It's just posted on our page yesterday, and just celebrate them because it's kind of a neat opportunity to see what these girls are doing all day long. So check out that video. It's really fun. It's on our group page. Stay tuned to what we have going on. We are trying to stick with whatever state mandates and national mandates are going on for our events. Right now they're on hold, so we're going to be giving you as much virtual content as possible. And we're just trying to remain there as a resource so people can keep connecting, because I know everybody kind of misses seeing each other. But at this point in time, we have not made any decisions on conference. We will be holding off still because right now it's kind of too soon to make any of that, but we will have some contingency plans in place and we'll let you know as soon as we know. Right now, we're all in the same boat, and I think everybody can agree that the one thing we all have in common is nobody really knows. So thank you so much for being here today and joining us, and thank you Leads Nearby for your presentation. We really appreciate you guys as a sponsor and all the value you have to offer. So have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll see you next week for next week's Zoom in call for diversity and inclusion. Thank you. Bye.